Episode 13 of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. Today's episode recaps the Week 8 games and then analyzes the Week 9 matchups for their respective teams, the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings. They also will discuss how well they did predicting the other Week 8 games, as well as recapping the results from their Week 8 fantasy matchups.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Damen und Herren, it's time for the podcast featuring Captain Vuk and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. This is the only place that's talking Hawks and Kings, but to be specific, we're talking Seattle Seahawks and Minnesota Vikings. So strap up. We're taking you on a fantastic voyage, unlike any you've ever been on, so sit back and get ready to set sail to the emerald-rich lands of the Seattle Seahawks and the treasure-filled valleys of the Minnesota Vikings with your hosts, Captain Vuk and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. Let's get it.
That's what we got to do with the coach of the Vikings. Blow him out of here. Blow him out of here. 12s. I know you agree with me. Scolders, get on board. The 12s see what's happening.
Yes, we do.
All right. Welcome back, football fans, to episode 13 of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. I'm Billy Gold, the original Billy Gold, the only Billy Gold, along with my co-host, Captain Vuk.
What's popping beside those Seahawk pads?
And the original, the only true Maverick.
Go get them.
Our production engineer, Mike, Top Gun, Cruz. Let it play, Mike. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep talking. Let it play.
Go get him, Mike. Here we come. Watch yourself.
We got another great episode in store for you today. Let it play, Mike. As we're going to recap the Week 8 games and then take a deep dive.
Beautiful sound.
Into the Week 9 matchups for our respective teams. Left to right. We'll also predict the outcomes of all the Week 9 games, as well as discussing our fantasy football team's results from the Week 8 matchups and our projected Week 9 lineups. As always, fill up your solo cup. Fill it up. You know where to fill it up. You know where to put the right ingredients. We gave you the lines last week.
That's true.
If you need some more information, contact me directly, because I do it on a nightly basis.
He's a wealth of knowledge.
An SME. And do we know what an SME is?
Why don't you preach to him?
Do you know what an SME? An SME is a subject matter expert, and I am the subject matter expert of a solo cup, as you learned last week. All right, get ready for another lakeside fantastic voyage. Cap, roll us in, buddy. Roll us in.
What it is. All back to the bridge I go. This is your captain speaking. Just like the Captain and the Real Deal podcast, them 12s and Seahawks were all gas, no brakes. 12s, Scolders. Welcome back to this legitimate, fantastic voyage. We promised it, and we ain't telling fibs around here. There's a lot going on with the Seahawks and the Vikings, so without any further ado, be gold, let's go.
Okay, so let's start today with some questions and open items. Okay? So everyone has a bucket list. I see a bucket to our left here. So I'm going to empty my bucket first this way, and then we'll get to it.
The bucket list has been emptied.
All right, that bucket list is empty. So, Cap, everyone has a bucket list of items they want to do or accomplish. And quite frankly, if you don't get to your bucket, I'm going to have that one too. What's the number one item on your bucket list?
The number one item on my bucket list. Wow, there's a lot on my list, but I think just because I've been recently listening to this podcast that it's called Black Diamonds, and it's basically talking about the Negro Leagues and the old baseball league and all those different people that played. I didn't know much about it. And it's so infatuating that I think I want to go visit that museum like as soon as possible. It's in where is it at? It is in, oh man, it'll come to me as we're talking, but I think I want to go check it out.
All right, cool.
Yeah. How about you? What's on your bucket list?
Well, of course.
Something in a place with very cold temperatures.
Of course, I always have two. So my number one item, as Top Gun prior to the show pointed out, well, you know, there's a lot of factors that play into this one. My number one item is to attend the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter the site, where the Minnesota Vikings come out as the champions.
That's honorable.
Strangely enough, I would want to go through all the emotions I do week to week, year to year with this team during that game.
Can you do it?
Why do you ask? Well, quite frankly, I don't know any other way. I live it.
Oh man, are you feeling trapped?
No.
Okay. Good.
No.
Good.
I control my emotions sometimes. All right, second on my list. Second, because that one is there's a lot of factors that play into that one. Second on my list. Have you ever watched the show Below Deck?
No, I have not.
All right. It's a show where people charter a luxury super yacht in the Caribbean.
I can see B Gold doing this.
Right. The average charter rate, it's $140,000 a week plus expenses, which is typically 35% of the base price. So now you have $140,000, you're adding on another $49,000. And those two costs don't include the gratuity, which is another 15 to 20%.
So what you're saying is, you could probably stay 3-4 weeks.
No, it's for 1 week.
No, but I mean for you though.
Oh, for me? Yeah. No, I think I get like 3 hours. Anyway, the plus expense charter price is the base price for the yacht only. The additional expenses are for food, bar, fuel, dockage, port taxes, and other expenses. They're charged separately. You $140 up front for a week just for the boat.
That's amazing.
All right. The typical yacht length is 154 feet for one of these super yachts. I've watched the show. I'm getting on one of these. I'm getting on these. Now, whether I go to my boss and say, you know, even if it's the last year of my career, just make it enough so I can do one of these trips as like a going away present, or Top Gun. I need your assistance in setting up a GoFundMe page so I can make this happen. Chip in.
And help a fella out.
Help a fella out.
All hands on deck. All hands on deck.
Yes.
All right, so let's move on to some open items from the previous episode. And I was going to leave this one out, but I'll get to it really quick. Not really an open item, but continuing discussion on announcers. Troy Aikman, he further cemented his selection as one of the worst announcers ever. And I had to turn the game off last night because him and Joe freaking Buck were awful. But he first cemented his selection. Here's what he said while covering the Bucks game with the Saints. There's 1:24 left in the game with the Bucks trailing by 9 and one timeout left. Mr. Aikman. The game is not over yet. What? There's a miracle would have to take place for to overcome this deficit. Aikman, you played the game. You got no chance. There's 2 scores. Minute 24. It's 3 kneels. It's 2 kneels. You're get out of the announcer business.
Example after example after example.
All right, 40-yard dash time trial update.
Here we go.
Unfortunately, Mr. Top Gun Cruise couldn't come to work today. I know it was planned, but I had other plans. We were supposed to go over and check out the 40-yard option that you told me about.
Showed up to the fight by yourself?
Yes, I showed up to the fight, and I ended up showing the fight. But we'll get over to the facility.
Oh boy.
I'm giving you grief. You know, actually, it's not his fault. I didn't check my schedule. All right, Cap.
Oh man.
Yeah, give me a tip of the cap from the Cap.
Listen, first of all, I'm going to give you a question. I got a question for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is actually considered an open item because in
Open item,
episode 12, last episode, you mentioned that when you go to the movies, quote, things never seem to work out when you get there. And that was a heck of a cliffhanger, brother. So can you give us a little insight as to what goes wrong or what happens when B Gold tries to get into the movie theater?
Okay. There's a bunch of things.
Uh-oh.
There's a bunch.
I'm going to just bet that it may have something to do with the cuisine available.
Well, no.
Okay.
No.
All right.
It usually deals with this significant other, but I'm gonna leave that portion out.
Yeah, that's probably wise.
Or I'm gonna be grounded.
Yeah, steer clear of that.
Or there's gonna be no more podcasts.
Don't go there.
I guess what I don't like is the fact that when you get there and you try and check in, there's never any consistency on how fast you get to where you need to go. And when you once get there, you have to live through over and over and over again things you don't want to see. By the time it gets to the movie, I'm going, it's been 20 minutes. There's a reason why I go to lunch at 11 o'clock. It's because I don't want to wait to watch all these other people order their food. So the same thing applies to a movie.
Okay.
I don't care what's coming up. I don't care what your specials are at the refreshment stand. I already bought my stuff.
You want to get right to it.
I want to watch the movie.
He wants to walk in and say, turn the thing on.
Yeah,
let's go.
If it starts on time, I don't need no recap. If you wanted to see a recap, listen to our show.
There you go.
You know? So that's my movie thing. The other point I'm not even touching. That's a loaded question.
All right, cool. That's a smart move on your part. Commend you for that. Stay out of that territory. All right, here's a question for the real deal. You got to listen carefully on this one.
Listen closely.
If it's 4th and goal on the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl with your Vikings down by 7 to the Green Bay Packers, if you score the touchdown, do you A, kick the PAT and try to tie the game, or B, do you go for the knockout blow and go for 2? And of course, you got to tell us why you make the decision that you make.
A lot of factors come into that. A lot of factors. So the smart answer is you kick the extra point and you see what happens with extra time on the clock. Because and I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said that a couple of years ago because they changed the rule where if the first team went down and got any kind of points, the game was over. But now, if it's only a field goal, you get a chance to get the ball back. So based on the rule change, I'll stay with that.
Now, this is still regulation, though. So
no, I understand regulation, but in regulation, if you have a chance to tie the game, I would need to know how much time is left on the clock when we're doing this.
Let me see. Did I give that to you? No. Let's just say there's 10 seconds left.
10 seconds left. You kick the extra point and you move on to overtime because I got to get a chance to get. I'm going to get a chance to get the ball once.
Okay.
If it's 2 minutes left.
So play for overtime.
If I'm playing for overtime, I'm kicking the extra point. And the reason why is because they changed the rule. If they didn't change the rule, based on
this is the real deal talking.
Yeah.
This is your first and only Super Bowl where you might have a chance to get that W. You're gonna get the touchdown. The game's already tied.
All right. So
no, it's not. You're down by 6.
Let's go.
You're down by 7.
Who's my freaking coach? Who's coaching?
The real deal. This is your show.
Am I coaching?
It's the real deal. You're making the call.
All right. If I'm coaching,
you make this call.
All right.
Because we know Zimmer might do something different.
I've said it from day one. Factors. Who's involved in the factors? If I'm coaching and we haven't never won,
it's 4th and goal on the 1 yard line. If you score this touchdown, now you're down by 7.
Well, no, you're talking about the 2-point conversion at this point.
If you score 6,
I'm scoring.
Do you kick to make it even, or do you try to take them out? That's what I'm trying to find out. There's a lot on the line, but I have a feeling the real deal rolls dice on occasion.
Yeah, exactly. I know what.
In alleys he probably shouldn't be in, but
no, exactly. Here's what I'm going to say on that. we've had a long, horrible, late decision making for the organization. But if I'm in charge,
You are.
and I've seen what's happened through the course of the game, and I'm going to get a chance to have a chance after a field goal. But if I lose field position to give the thing, it's a long time coming. That's one of the greatest questions I've ever had.
And this is because I knew this was going to be tough for you because the history of kickers.
I'm not worried about kickers at this point. We got Greg the Leg Joseph.
So you're cool that he'll make that?
No, I just
PAT?
came up with a nickname for him, Greg the Leg Joseph. I mean, he's not even a leg. That's Greg the Leg Zerline. I stole Zerline's name.
That was well done. But is he gonna? Are you comfortable? He's gonna not blow this PAT?
No.
Or do you trust your offense to get them on the field and try to get you these two and finish this thing?
You know what? Since 1961, we've had nothing.
Exactly.
It's the Packers.
The trophy that you did earn is not even in your city.
Yeah, he's got to get the right. I got to get the right leadership in place to go get that back because that's ours.
What would Sean Payton do? What would Andy Reid do? What would
all right? So you just named, you named all right. Well, you named 2 out of the 3 coaches that I think are lucky to be coaches. And I mean in the aspect for the teams they coach. I mean, Sean Payton, the Riverboat Gambler.
He's going for 2, I think.
Don't go. No, none of them are.
So?
No.
Everybody's going to go.
Nobody
for
in the Super Bowl is going for it. Nobody's in the Super Bowl.
Nobody's going for the win.
Nobody in the Super Bowl is going for the win.
Nobody's got that kind of stuff going on.
Nobody's got that stuff going on. There is nobody, including Pete Carroll. Nobody.
What will Bud Grant do? He probably pay for the tie, huh?
Yeah, Bud Grant would pay for that. You know why? Because Bud Grant would say, you know what, my squad's better than yours, and you know what, my defense is going to stop here. So what the real deal will say,
Here it comes.
Here's what we'll say. What they'll say is the front 4 will dictate what goes on in this matchup. And you know what? If we lose the coin toss, you're not getting more than 1 or 2 first downs. We're going to get the ball back. And whether Greg the Leg Joseph or Kurt, Captain, no more longer check down, but Captain comeback will do. It makes sense no matter who you are, coach, because you will be second guessed and Monday morning quarterback
to the end of time.
If you do anything other than what's expected from any coach.
What's best practice?
And not only coach, but even a riverboat gambler.
That's a good. See, I like the fact that you transitioned to the fact that, you know what? I'm going to trust my defense to do their job, live to get to the next episode, and then handle your business.
Is that mine?
I may have to. I may have to defer to you because of this. I may have to.
I'm just joking.
I may have to head back north.
You got any tip of the cap from the cap?
Hold on, let me slide to.
All
my
right, no, I'll do the real. If you want the time for, I'll do real deal moment of the week.
Yeah, hit it up.
All right. Though they ruled it incomplete, it was not. It was not. They ruled it incomplete. It was not. The catch by New York Jets wide receiver Keelan Cole was the catch of the year
that was
so far.
Off the chain.
So far. And you need to check the tape. And by the way, he did it again this week. It wasn't the catch of the year. This dude, why is he on the Jets? He's been bouncing around since 2018.
He's for real.
He looks like he did it in 2018. I sent Cap and the Top Gun videos of both catches. This guy,
he's for real.
He's been flying under the radar, but I'll take him. I'll take him.
He's fantastic.
All right, you got a tip of the cap from the cap?
Absolutely.
All right.
Geno, Chef Geno to the kitchen, please. Iron Chef Geno Smith. What's up? The dude from the New York Jets is officially gone. This is our Geno Smith. You can't be a professional quarterback in the NFL, B Gold, unless your mind is right and you are supported. Geno didn't have that in New York. He was under attack from all angles at all times every day. Not how we roll, bro. The pass to Tyler Lockett standing on our 37-yard line, right in the waiting glue paddles of Tyler Lockett, was a thing of majestic beauty. The scary thing is that DK was open on that route too. I see you, Coach Waldron. I see you. Thanks for listening to the podcast, brother. You know we love you. So listen, my tip of the cap absolutely has to go to my guy, Geno Smith. I mean, it has to. I don't even know if I have his stat line in front of me, and I probably do, but he was throwing some of the sweetest balls that the NFL has ever seen to some of the most capable receivers that ever wore blue and green.
I'll give you the capable of blue and green wide receivers, but those beautiful balls for this guy. All right, here's what I will say.
What you got?
I will say this.
Because y'all think you're still living in the past on him a little bit.
No.
Okay.
He did what he needed to do.
He did.
But when you're saying that, DK Metcalf was open as well, there's a reason why OBJ
oh my goodness
is complaining, because he's showing tape where he's open too.
Yeah.
But the progression of a quarterback, and Baker Mayfield is much more progressed than Geno Smith on looking at who's open and who's not. But sometimes the plays say, don't look anywhere else. You got 2 reads, and then you have to move around to get to the 3rd read. So when these guys say they're open, I'm not buying it, because OBJ, you know what? I hope it's not, I got to make up something for OBJ. Outbound Jets. Whatever. Get him out of here. I'm going to come up with something. But you know what? Geno Smith definitely took the guys, including myself, who called him out, and he did what he needed to do to get the Seahawks back on track. However, is it sustainable? It could be.
it may not need to be.
It could be, but let me reference something.
Yep.
Because whenever I get called out on something, I do my research. Phil Simms thinks that Geno Smith could be a starter on other NFL teams who have lesser options at that position. So I think Phil Simms is a very respectable guy. Yeah. So if he's telling me that, I'm going to live with that, because you know what? There's quarterbacks that start in this league that make mistakes, and you're okay to make a mistake. It just seemed the environment Geno was in prior to this
was toxic.
The mistakes were, when you're in New
magnified.
York, they're magnified. So,
I mean, I don't think DK complained about the catches that he got. I mean, he did get 6 rocks thrown to him. He caught them all, and he got 2 touchdowns out the deal.
No, I was just using an example because OBJ says his father tweeted, "Hey, my son's open all the time."
And video.
So you can draw up things, but Baker Mayfield's response was really kind of cool. He said, "Hey, listen, I have 2 reads, and then I got to make one of those hell on wheels decisions after that. I have the 2 hot routes, and I go to them, and I'm expecting them to open, but if they're not, I have to jump around and make a decision. And if the wide receivers are dialing up plays with open guys, that's not right."
Not at all. And then he only has 2 reads. I mean, that's too bad, but that's them.
Well, they drafted him. They know what they got.
Yeah, that's them. But we had a heck of a game. I mean,
you did. And you know what? You had a heck of a game. I will not talk about the opponent. I'll just leave.
I'll bring them up later. I'll bring them up.
Yeah, all right, good. Well,
I broke them down a little bit.
Exactly.
There's some things people may not know about them, so that's why you never underestimate your opponent.
No, and we've seen that because the Jets beat the Bengals. So I mean, it's
beat them bad.
What was the movie?
Yeah.
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday.
So all right. So let's go to a Bam Bam moment I had, because the Cap needs to research this one, because he always gives out a Bam Bam moment, but you know what? He always says it's week to week and based on if it's nothing better than what he has. Did you have a Bam Bam moment this week? If you don't, then it's fine. Just go research this one. The Falcons safety, Eric Harris's hit on Carolina's wide receiver, Robbie Anderson, was epic. It was one of the epic hits I've ever seen, because he didn't get called for a defenseless receiver. This guy was trying to make a play, and Eric Harris, yes! Oh! And Robbie Anderson said, "Oh, that hurt."
Yeah, he's balling. I wish I would have saw that hit.
Yeah, so you I know you, Cap. You got what was that stick you got? Fire stick, whatever you got. Get that stick and get the Falcons Carolina game, because I'm telling you, this hit was monumental, and it supplemented anything I said. Because now that I'm aware of the Bam Bam moment,
yes,
it's
an important part of the game.
Yeah, so I compare, because you said unless something overwhelms us, you have to go with it. So I thought this did. So check it out.
Well, I'm gonna use that as a follow up, because I want to go see this hit, because I appreciate really, really good hits in the NFL.
And I put a picture on our roving podcast here for pictures for me and the Cap to look at from our trip and other things. And
this is available to the public?
It can be
Okay.
when we get our website going, but
This is sweet. They'll
just
enjoy it.
exactly. You know, the thing is with the Bam Bam thing is that I highlighted the Bam Bam on here. Okay. Let's get to the week 8 recap of the Vikings.
Let me just sneak my Bam Bam in.
Sneaking on.
real
I
quick.
didn't know you had one. All right.
I got one.
All right.
One. Of course, it's from the Seahawks game, of course. So with 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter, B Gold,
Huh?
the money quarter, when star players on some teams shut it down, but on other teams, like the Hawks, we ball till we fall. So with 3:02 left in the game, Marvin Jones, who's an absolute baller, gets the rock thrown to him on the sideline, and with the ball in his hands, he suddenly gets bam-bammed by none other than one of the best safeties in the game, Quandre Diggs, who jars the ball loose for an incompletion. I mean, and Diggs was everywhere, and jarring a whole bunch of people, but that one stood out. We had a bunch of hard cracks in this game, but that one I give the award to Quandre. Keep balling, man.
Not cool because I do not usually put a Bam Bam moment in, but
We appreciate it.
when
And
I
the
saw the
12s,
Falcons one, yeah,
the 12s love it because they know that's a silent tribute to Cam Chancellor.
And exactly, it is, and they should check it out so they say, hey, wow, they're comparing hits, and we know why we're doing it.
And when we get to the point where somebody sees one that we don't, send it in.
Hey, send it in, exactly. All right, let's get to Week 8 recap of the Vikings-Cowboys game. All right, Cowboys had to start their backup QB. We win the turnover battle 2-0. Our kicker, he makes all his kicks. This should be an easy win. Instead, another crushing defeat. The Vikings' strategy was apparently, and it's been this way all this year, because the first drives, we look like rock stars. We get up by a few points, and then we call plays not to lose the game. After that, we completed 1 of 13 third down attempts.
Can't play scared.
But I don't think Zim thinks it's scared. I think he thinks get up by a score, and our defense can beat your rear end. Edit.
The real deal almost showed up.
Did I catch that in time? I thought I did.
Top Gun got you.
All right, shaving cream, stay nice and green.
Yes, that's a good one.
My father turned me into that song when I grew up. If you're ever going to say anything that ended with that was negatory with S, you always say shaving cream. So my thank you, Dad. God rest your soul. But thank you. There's actually a song called Shaving Cream, and you know I can't.
It's hilarious.
This isn't even on here, but I can't bother doing it anyway. They were up by 16 to 13 with 2 minutes to go. The Cowboys drove down the field and were faced with a 3rd and 16 from the Vikings 20-yard line. Vikings called timeout to set up the defense.
Here we go.
It's 3rd and 16. They got to get to the 4. After the timeout, the teams, they line up for the next play, and Zimmer calls another timeout. First on the NFL, the refs are not supposed to grant it.
And they did.
And they did.
And this game was in your house.
And once they blow the whistle, it's a 5-yard penalty. So now it's 3rd and 11. And they dump off a pass to Ezekiel Elliott. And he's met at the 11-yard line. He's got to get to the 4 by Anthony Barr and I think Cameron Dantzler. If Barr and Dantzler make the play, the Cowboys have to settle for a game-time field goal, which would have given the ball back to Minnesota with a minute left. And you see what Cousins did it with the past 2 weeks? Barr and Dantzler cannot stop Elliott. He gets to the 4 1/4, 3 3/4 yard line, and he gets a first down. The next ensuing play, they throw a pass to go up 2016. And then you look up Kirk Cousins, and the announcers are saying... It's his fault. He can't get 7 points in 40 seconds.
Amazing.
He could get a field goal. He's trying to get a touchdown. Anyway, not sure who put the offensive game plan together for the Vikings or who limited it, Coach Zimmer.
Man.
But it played right into the strength of the Cowboys defense. They are an athletic, fast group, and the Vikings were calling plays for the edge. That's not what you do against athletic, fast group defenses. You run up the middle and you do play action pass up the middle. I really hope the ownership opens its eyes and realizes that Zimmer has had his chance and this is probably the 17th week in a row that I said it's time to move on. Now, there's too much talent on this team, and we have holes. And every drive is run on first down run, second down run, and then throw on third down.
Does that sound predictable to you?
I'm right. I'm right. It's right here. I'm sorry. It's too predictable.
Not good. Not good.
Lastly,
Oh, man.
the Cowboys have two really good receivers in Lamb and Cooper. But who had a tremendous day? Not Lamb, not Cooper. You know what? The most tremendous day of their receivers?
Tight end or running back?
He's a wide receiver. You know what his name is?
Nope.
It's Wilson.
There you
It's
go.
Cedric Wilson, of all things.
There you go. Another
We got
Wilson.
beat by a guy named Wilson. He's my guy. He's my dog. He left the room because he said, this guy's representing me. I'm not having any of it. He had 3 catches for 85 yards, including a 73-yard TD pass. It shouldn't have happened. I know you're trying to jump in. He threw a pass for 35 yards. That the wide receiver threw a pass. You can't make it up.
That's not good. I felt pain again. Take a breath, brother.
Okay. What do you got?
Ladies and gentlemen, B. Gold is sweating. He's working hard out here. I mean, I don't know what to say other than I did read an article just this morning, and I was actually hoping that you didn't see it. I meant to send it to you, but I said I can't send it to him right now. But it said something to the effect of 4 Minnesota Vikings that have to leave. And
I saw it.
okay, because when I saw the 4th person, I was like, you know what? I wonder if the real deal wrote this article. Because they said Z-Man has to go.
He did.
And so you were on to something in week 1 somehow. You were all over this guy, and that hasn't really changed. So what's next? Do you try to endure this whole season with this guy? Will the management say, listen, we got to shake this thing up now so that the folks coming back next year know what they're getting into? Or what are you guys going to do?
Or
ride it out?
Well, unfortunately, we're still in the mix. We're still a game, half a game or a game again in front of you guys. And you guys are, even though you lost to us, I think you're better than us. You know, and
at this stage of the season, I mean, I would argue that we're definitely better than we were. And I'll touch on some of that as I recap my game.
Right. So, I mean, so what I will say is that we're on the road for the Ravens this week.
Oh boy.
Yep. But I think they're
belts on.
Why don't we get into that later? Anyway, we'll get to that later. So let's do a fun fact. Fun fact.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Because you always do. I forwarded an article to the Cap this week, and it appears I was onto something by adding punter Jordan Berry to my all-time roster. Cap, I sent you that link, and just want to get your feedback on what you
Can't argue with you on that one.
I mean, he has made a difference in
He
our
has. And now understanding the depth of how much pain has been caused to your organization by kickers. Now I know why you locked in on this guy. When you saw something good and consistent with the foot on the ball, you're like,
But
this is not normal.
And I appreciate that. But I also saw something this week. I don't know who he plays for, but the former New Orleans Saints punter is on another squad. He might be on the Patriots, but he made some great kicks this week too. And they said he turned the game around by him making those punts. So
yeah, good punters can do that. They can flip that field position.
All right, so let's move on to game balls. I don't give them out.
I was about to say, you changing up.
No, I'm not changing up.
Nobody gets it.
Who the heck who put this in here? You guys are supposed to check my stuff. Game balls. There's no game balls.
None.
All right.
0.
Do we have to hire somebody that checks my script? All right, that's on me.
Oh,
All right, breaking
man.
news this week. Daniel Hunter, our greatest defensive end, not our greatest, our best defensive end this year, was out all last year after a neck injury. He had a shoulder injury, and it looks to be a torn pec. Now it's confirmed it's a torn pec. And he will most likely miss the rest of the season. Looks like Hunter's days in purple are over after the season. He missed all of last year because of the neck, and then had his contract restructured so he could prove to us that we should give him a long-term deal, and he could prove, there's no long-term contract coming.
Nothing.
There's not. He missed last year with
done.
a neck injury. He's probably going to sign somewhere else and go into their Hall of Fame.
That would be the fate. That's the normal track.
And you know what? Check my back. I got tattoos of all the numbers of Hall of Fame people, and if he makes it, he's not getting on there.
He ain't gonna make the board.
He's not making the board. Like, you know what? And this is a great segue here. It's not even on my thing. Steve Hutchinson.
The Hutch.
Yeah, the Hutch. You know what? If me and Cap sat in a room and said, okay, we have to decide who gets to tattoo Steve Hutchinson's number on his wherever. Mine for me is my back.
I don't have any tats.
No, but I'm saying if we had to say, Cap, whose back is Hutch going on?
Oh, he's yours for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hutch, you are enshrined. Thank you, Cap. Thank you.
That's because I don't get tattoos, brother.
No, but I'm saying if you did,
if I did, and I put like Seahawk numbers on me, I mean Hutch is a Seahawk to the end, so
well,
I would get the Seahawk emblem, and that would represent everybody.
Well, no, because what I have on my back is a shield, okay, and it's a shield with swords that go through it. And it starts with the 12 o'clock era. And right
the
now,
12s. I like the 12
start with
coming
the
in.
12 o'clock era, and I went through 1 through 11, and I'm a little behind because of things going on in the world.
Okay.
So I had the 12 spot open, and the 12
He would
spot,
be the guy.
No. It's Randy Moss, but I haven't been able to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because he got enshrined. But after Randy Moss, now it's 76. So now I have to start a second inner circle.
Can you do it?
I can do it. The question is, as a podcast, and you had the same back as me, though yours would be much larger.
You might have to show the fans, though.
No, and muscular.
You might have to show the fans though what that looks like.
It's you know, so I'm like an XL and Cap's like a 2XL, but we're both like slim fit.
I'll say athletic cut. How about that?
All right, athletic.
All right, cool.
Athletic. So does that number belong where?
That's your wall of fame, right? That you carry.
No, that's different. That's the Ring of Honor.
I don't know.
Is all right? So here's an easy question. Minnesota Vikings are out of it. You've never met the real deal and Billy Gold, and you have this big bird on your back. And you have all these slots to put these numbers of retired guys.
Big bird.
Are you putting Hutchinson on there?
I mean, if I was into tattoos, and stuff like that,
No. It has nothing to do with tattoos.
let's say I'm making a mural,
You're making a mural.
All right, yeah, Hutch is coming up. He's on
Hutch is
it.
coming. So the depth of putting it on there, it should translate to if you make a tattoo.
I see what you're saying. So yeah,
Know
but
what I
if I was to make a mural with all the folks that I respected and said these are the baddest of the bad, Hutch is up there for sure.
All right, who's on
he
that
played
list?
next to Walter Jones.
All right, who's
man.
on that list that you say, you know what? He played for Seattle, but he went in the Hall of Fame with somebody else. Is there anybody yet?
There probably are a few. I need some time to think about that one.
Open item.
Yeah.
That's on you.
That's an open item. I'll check that
All
out.
right, cool.
And just speaking of breaking news, I mean, you kind of hit me with a straight up slider if you're a baseball fan this week. B-Go hit me up and was like, yo, did you hear Marshawn Lynch just signed with the Tennessee Titans after Derrick Henry got hurt?
Let's cue it up.
So, you got it?
Yeah,
okay, cue it up correctly.
And you take it from there. So what I said to the Cap was, hey, Cap, the Titans just signed Adrian Peterson, but there's breaking news that he failed his physical. And Marshawn Lynch has now been signed because he failed his physical. And Cap, you take it from there.
Well, basically, I almost went into cardiac arrest. I had to text Seattle Socrates immediately because I know that man he's on his game. Anything that has to do with Seahawks, Seattle Socrates locks it down. So when he told me, listen, there ain't no rumbling around here about that, I'm like, okay, let me take a breath. Something else might be afoot. And something else was afoot.
Yeah.
You even sent me an article from ESPN and I click it. And it's got some college football stuff in. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So you got me.
Yeah, so
that was good.
What I will say is that that was rogue information. I can't disclose the source.
It just wasn't verified. It's all good. It's all good.
No, it was me.
That's how we roll out here. You got to stay on your toes.
No, I was trying to.
You got to stay frosty in the podcast game.
No, there's two. We in our studio. There's two pictures of Seahawks that roll through our screen here, and it's Bam Bam, Cam Chancellor, and Marshawn Lynch. So I know if I'm ever going to get a rise out of the Cap, that if I can get one of those in there. So it made natural sense when I saw the Adrian Peterson signing, and I knew who else was sitting in the dark clouds
Well,
in the background.
As Seattle Socrates said, listen, if anybody needs a running back, it might be Seattle because Rashad Penny is just struggling to be effective.
Yeah.
You know, Carson has a neck issue that we're not sure about yet. Alex Collins has his groin issue. So if there's going to be a running back getting signed and Beast Mode is signing, he's coming back to the house.
He is.
He's going to put that uniform on and put work in.
You know, it was more just to grab your attention, and boy, did I get his attention. Actually, I had to call him. I had to call him and say, "Hey, Cap."
Yeah, he had to set me straight.
We're buds. You know, please don't hold it against me.
That was funny though. I'm like, man, how did I miss
You're
that?
6'4", I'm 5'11". he goes, no, I do my homework, but I got it. Anyway,
Yep,
all right, let's go outside the box with the real deal. Let's go outside the box. Outside the box, the Von Miller trade. Do you know why he was traded, Cap?
Let's hear it.
Do you know why?
Actually, I don't.
All right. He was upset with his teammates for declining to kick in money for a big Halloween party that he was throwing. It had a 6-figure price tag and included several high-profile guests.
Did you say that he was throwing?
He threw, right? So his teammates said,
and he wanted the guests to throw money back?
yeah, the impression he gave them, or what they did not understand, was that he planned the event, but he expected them to throw money, but he never came out and said it.
And that's real? That's verified?
Yeah.
Somebody got quoted and said
according to
that?
Pro Football Network.
Wow, that's pretty credible
Right.
source.
So there was concerns with management after this that this incident threatened to disrupt the Broncos locker room chemistry. So they were like,
That's kind of unusual, right?
unpaid debt. How's this going to go over? So more to come on that, but thought it was very unique.
That is unique.
All right, let's hear your recap of the Seahawks Jaguars game.
All right, just to kick it off, Top Gun, can I just get a little love for the 12? Oh, yeah. Man, that's so organic and just so spontaneous and real. Every 12 loves that, and so do the Hawks. So the home of the 12 suffered yet another attack within the Emerald Nation, B Gold, but this time by the Jaguars faction. They came in and tried to impose their will, thinking that we were just a mindset away from shutting the blinds and heading inland, like they were some treacherous hurricane or something. But clearly, they did not know who they were messing with. Now, the open field tackling was the best that I've ever seen this year in this game. There was one, I don't even know if it's considered a splash play, maybe 20 yards. Maybe it was a run that kind of broke early in the first quarter. We ran him down, snatched him up, gave him a speeding ticket. Done. Clearly, we were on point. We had that was the only really explosive play that I saw, and that was in the first quarter. The defense was tackling so well. We were hitting anybody with the ball and several who didn't have it. All legit hits. We were pressuring the quarterback like wild Seahawks feasting on a swarm of fish, B Gold. Not kidding. We got one sack, but we got a whole bunch of pressures. And I was going to talk to you about this on a side note about how impactful you think pressures are compared to sacks. Now, obviously, when you get the sack, you get the automatic yard loss, which is big, but
They're equal.
But I put a lot of weight on pressures because they disrupt the offensive scheme. It makes them think on the fly, and all teams can't do that. And the Jaguars struggle with this a little bit. Now, within 3 minutes of the game, Jamal Adams had already blitzed 3 times. I mean, I was like, yo, that's that 5'2" monster quick clot that we talked about in, I forget what episode, I think episode 9, when the whole team went into surgery. But I can't call it quick clot. I kind of call it the Ken Norton monster defense. And it was on Halloween too. So I was really, really happy to see what the defense did. Really excited about that. The offense looked good. The second half was a little bit more conservative than I'd like because I'm an all gas, no brakes guy till the game is over. And Shane Waldron he called a pretty good game plan, but he's still figuring himself out. And I know you're looking at the team that we played like, okay, who are these Jaguars? What kind of a win is this really? Well, remember when we played the Titans, they gave their playmakers 1 million touches, knowing that something would eventually give, and it did. Derrick Henry broke a big one, and it kind of broke us. Remember what the Saints did just last week? They did the same thing with the Kamara objectives. And if you don't know that was coming, you got to check out the bonus show on episode 12. And it was only 12 minutes too on episode 12, but go back and check that out, Scolgers. You guys will probably like this too. But in any event, Commander Vuk said that they had it on good authority that the Saints were going to try to deploy the Kamara objectives, and they did. We went over all of those touches he got. from the backfield, from the quarterback, and he was effective. You guys did it against us too with Mr. Jefferson. Remember that? Get your playmakers the ball and see what they do. Coach Waldron finally flipped his script in that area, B. Gold, and I've been clamoring for it, as has basically everybody in the Emerald Nation. And he was like, yo, forget this nonsense. I'm catching heat from the media. I'm catching heat from the coach and from the players. And now Captain Vuk and B. Gold are coming at me too? Let me show you what I got. So Lockett gets 12 catches for 142 yards. Some of the prettiest passes that you could ever see. I mean, Tyler, to me, is the most polished receiver in the NFL. He is just a technician to the maximum. And then you got DK Metcalf, as I mentioned earlier, 6 for 43 and 2 touchdowns. I gave him new nicknames after I watched this game, B. Gold. It's called Lightning and Thunder. Tyler Lockett is the lightning. DK Metcalf is the thunder. And when you use them both, even if you are a grown human being and you by yourself in the house and you hear that, you see that flash and your house shakes, your heart raises just a tad bit, no matter who you think you are. So you got to use them both, and they go great together. I wanted to see if I can run through Geno's stats for you, if I can locate them, but I was just excited about how he was poised.
Yeah, you can check them out while you're trying to get those. So I'm happy that they rebounded.
I don't believe it. I don't believe you're happy. Okay,
I'm happy they were, but
go ahead, hit me with your punches, because I know you got some punches for me. So hit me with them.
I'm happy that they rebounded, and you know what?
We needed to.
I think you guys are better than us. But what's the all-time record against the Jaguars?
Don't know.
Yeah, it's
and I would argue the relevancy of it. But
all right, so I can tell you the last 22 games of the Jaguars are 1-21.
Okay.
So they're while this needed to happen, and if it didn't happen, I think
if it didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm saying me and Mike, me and
Top Gun
Maverick had a conversation that was, we actually had called the life support safety team in to show up for this podcast in case it didn't happen.
Yeah,
we had the oxygen people on,
ready to go.
Yeah,
you would have needed every single one of them.
We need every one of them because and we've seen this with the Jets beating the Bengals, is that on any given Sunday things can happen. If you guys had lost this game, I'm pretty confident that for the next 3 weeks of the podcast, I wouldn't even had a chance to say anything, because it just would have been ranting and raving about, and wouldn't have been get rid of anybody. It just would have been this can't happen in my world. So I'm happy that they won. I don't root against you guys, though sometimes it makes the podcast better when you lose.
Yeah.
I don't root against you guys because I don't want you rooting against my team. And when we play each other, it's kind of one of those things where we take the professional approach where I hope we play well against you. But here's my thoughts.
All right, and then I got to finish up with some info. And I do have Geno's stat line.
All right,
we
good.
got to show that.
Seahawks took care of business early and cruised to an easy victory. Geno Smith looked like a real QB this week. But let's remember.
Everybody want to take shots at Geno, but we got you, Geno. It's all good, bro.
But let's remember that the Jaguars are a bad team. Urban Meyer might actually be worse than Mike Zimmer.
Wow.
All right, and my observation. Seahawks need to continue to perform, I said high level, but a different level than what they played against a bad team over these next 2 games to get back to 500. After that, if they can close out the final 7 games with a 5-2 record, they would finish with 10 wins and probably secure a wild card spot. Anything can happen after that. So a lot of work to be done.
True.
You have the talent. I quite frankly think that you're better than the Scolders are not going to like this. I think you're better than the Vikings. And I don't equate that to talent. I think the talent is probably, we could argue that all day, but I think, again, Pete Carroll was chosen by Bud Grant to be the coach of the Vikings.
And they did not
listen. Now, Danny Green had a great run, but the problem with it is that Pete Carroll has stayed on and on and on and on. So I think the talent level, we have some great talent. I don't think the talent level is that much different. I think it's how it's coached. And I think Pete Carroll overwhelms Mike Zimmer. And Mike Zimmer has had the attention of the room for a while. I think it's gone.
I think you might be right. Now, let me just go over some quick numbers here. And just so folks know that the number 1 draft pick in the NFL, Trevor Lawrence, supposedly the chosen one, and he's going to be excellent. He was fresh off the heels of his first win as a pro on English soil, not United States soil, by beating the Dolphins 23-20, had a dogfight. The Jags have played the Texans and the Broncos, good teams. The Cardinals.
Wait. The Texans are a good team?
I'm sorry. The Broncos are a good team. The Texans are okay. They were at the beginning until the QB got hurt.
They don't even have Tyrod Taylor. They're playing some guy named Miller.
At the beginning, they were all right when they played them. They also played the Cardinals, another good team, and the Bengals, good team, and the Titans, good team. They weren't blown out by any of them, if you didn't know that. Now, the Titans kind of blew them out at the end, 37-19, so maybe that will categorize as a blowout, but nobody else, however, has kept this young dynamic team to a single-digit score until you enter the Seahawks. Now, we not only held them to 7 points, but we kept them scoreless for like 58 minutes and some change. That's not easy to do in the NFL. The rookie phenom was 32 for 54 for 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I see you, Quandre Diggs, getting your 3rd pick. Sidecar Hawk, a.k.a. Geno Smith, was 20 for 24, 195 yards, and 2 touches. Lockett, like I said earlier, the most polished receiver in the business in my mind, had 12 catches for 142 yards, extremely efficient, 11.8 yard average. And he was targeted 13 times, so only 1 got away from him. Geno was on it. And
he was on it. I think he made 13 in a row. He broke a record.
He did break a record. He was on
See,
point.
I said that.
That's good. I'm glad you got that. No, I'm glad you put that in there because he had a streak that was nice.
I'm paying attention.
And we already talked about DK. He caught everything coming at him. You know, that's because what he does. And that's just when you trust your ballers, Coach Waldron. You didn't get the tight ends very much involved.
They don't like the tight ends. I'm reading more and more into that. No,
yeah, I don't like that.
Russell don't like the tight ends.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's false.
I don't know if Russell dislikes them.
There was a comment that said, that's the last place he looks.
Well, who was the announcer? I hope Joe Buck wasn't in there. No, he wasn't.
No, it was the same guy actually, it wasn't the same guy.
No, our announcers are pretty good for the national.
No, exactly.
But Gerald Everett had 1 pass thrown to him, and he caught it. And
that's my question next week. Who's your favorite announcer?
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I have to go back to John Madden.
It cannot be. I would say it can't be a Seahawk.
No, John Madden all day. He was my very favorite. And then Gerald Everett also had 1 run they gave him out of the backfield that didn't go anywhere. Will Dissly, the other tight end, got 0 targets. So keep working at it, Shane Waldron. Again, we appreciate you checking us out because we do have some information for you that might, keep you in Seattle for a very, very long time. Just real quick on the defense. I mean, Bobby Wagner's leading, I think, the entire NFL in tackles still. He led the game here with 14 tackles.
Well, if you're on the field that long, you should lead the league.
Jamal Adams, not that game. He just blows up everything that comes up.
Nah, he's a great player.
And Jamal Adams had 10 tackles in the pass defense, and he was everywhere.
I guess I want to see what the picks are for the trade for the upcoming years for that.
Yeah, hopefully there won't be any trades.
If you guys finish in the 20s or the high 30s, then the picks are going to be up.
So I just want to shout out our defense real quick. Coach Ken Norton, getting folks squared away. They survived surgery and the heartbeat is steady. And I'm just happy that that's what it is right now. And that needs to stay that way because the work's not done yet.
All right.
Offense is still shaky, but hopefully Russell comes back after the bye week.
No, I saw the video you sent me. He looks good. He can definitely get up on the machine and act like he's throwing a ball.
Yep.
So I think that's a positive thing. I didn't see the ball go out of his hand, but I had that injury. You know what? I heal average. You
heal above average.
I heal above more than the average man. So But he's much more an athlete than me. So great stuff, Cap. The Seahawks. I'm looking at this and. I think the squads are even between us and the Vikings, but I think the coaching staff for you guys overwhelms us. So I'll take that hit all day. Scolders can give me some grief, but it's time to move on for us. So I don't want to say abandon ship. I'll do that next week, but let's get to the week 9 picks.
Yo, it's time for the picks, the weekly predictions by them guys. Get your notebooks out because they rarely miss. Make way for Captain Book when he makes his picks. You can't touch this dude. Reppin' Hawks in the Emerald Nation. All units, battle stations. So welcome to the battle zone. It's a place where Captain Book is never alone. With his guy, be gold by his side. Sporting purple, always ready to ride. A real Viking maniac, never afraid to go on the attack. And when needed and comes the real deal, he's got a real feel for NFL skill. So listen close and get the word. Don't be the one who hadn't heard about Captain Book and Blue Gold.
tested. All right, we're going to roll through these picks.
Let's get them.
Pretty quick tonight. Minnesota, 24. Baltimore, 23.
Baltimore 21, Minnesota 20, and it's going to be because of Zimmer.
All right. Seattle, they won't lose this week.
We're going to beat up on the bye week. We better stay out the news, though.
Indianapolis, 27. Jets, 13. Colts, over the Jets, 27-13.
Hold on, where we at?
Jets, Colts.
Colts get it done at home. 25-6.
All right. New England at Carolina. New England's getting better and better each week. Patriots, 27. Carolina, 16.
Yeah, Carolina, no, negative. New England's going to win that game, 21-14.
All right, Buffalo at Jacksonville. Bills travel to Jacksonville and easily handle the Jaguars, 31-13. Lock of the week.
Yeah, Buffalo's going to beat them down. It's going to be 34-16.
All right, let's move on to Atlanta at New Orleans. Saints defense will lead the way to victory, 20-13.
Yep, Saints are going to get that done in the Bayou. They're going to beat the Atlanta Falcons, 34-24.
The Raiders at
go.
the G-Men. Raiders invade the Meadowlands and beat the Giants, 24-17.
I think the Giants might get them. This is going to be an upset for me. Vegas has a lot going on with their team and a recent horrible tragedy. Giants are going to stay focused and squeeze out a win. They're going to get it done 19-14.
All right, another game of the week. The Battle of Ohio. Both are coming off losses. Cleveland at Cincinnati. Should be a close game. Cincy, 24. Cleveland, 23.
Yeah, Cincinnati's going to squeeze that out at home, 31-30. Should be a good shootout.
Denver at Dallas. Cowboys should have Dak Prescott back and will continue their winning streak. Dallas 23, Denver 13.
Yeah, Dallas holds serve at home. They're going to beat them 24-14.
All right, Houston at Miami. Two awful teams. I'm not watching any of this game.
Yeah.
Miami 20, Houston 17.
Yeah, Miami will squeeze it out, but it's going to be ugly. It'll be a 17-14 beat battle.
All right, let's move on to the LA Chargers at Philly. This is a tough game to call as the Chargers have come back down to earth and the Eagles have played well. I got Philly 28, Chargers 27.
I got the Chargers going in there humbled. They're going to squeeze out a victory against Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
28-21.
All right, so tomorrow you have to send me all your picks because I'm not writing them down. Okay. All right. Green Bay at KC. Mahomes has been exposed, but Rodgers has not
also
been vaccinated.
He's also been exposed.
So I originally had, I might have to change this up. I got rush 4, drop 7, and the struggles continue for Mahomes. But now Rodgers, don't vaccinate, can't play. So I got KC. Winning at home 24-13.
Yeah, I got Kansas City taking advantage and smelling blood against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers left
Yeah, there
Green
ain't
Bay.
no love for Jordan Love.
And they're at home.
Exactly.
30-14.
30-14. All right.
Kansas City.
Please send me those because without those, you have to send me all your picks. Because we're on the rush tonight.
Yes,
Arizona Cardinals at the 49ers. The Wolves are closing in on Kyle Shanahan. I got Cardinals 31, 49ers 20.
Yeah, the Cardinals are going to be very upset, and they have the talent to do something about it. 34-7, and it's going to be chaos in Frisco.
Oh, 34-7. All right.
Yep, Arizona.
Tennessee at the Rams. Derrick Henry injury changes this game a lot. I got Rams 30, Tennessee 23.
Yeah, LA loves the bright lights. It's Thursday night football. Sunday night football. I got it straight. Yeah, the Rams are going to get that W till Tennessee figures out how they want to go forward. Rams 30, Tennessee 21.
All right. Final one, Chicago at Pittsburgh. Justin Fields, he did show some promise last week, but if he continues to run that much, he'll be gone. He won't last long in this league. I got Pittsburgh 24, Chicago 13.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh in a kind of a brawl. I think the weather's going to be kind of dicey, hopefully. Makes for a great AFC matchup, even though Chicago's in the NFC. I say Steelers 30, Chicago 14.
All right, let's move on to our fantasy football league picks, and let's get Johnny King music. Johnny, thank you for dropping that on there.
That's the guy right there.
All right, the real deal. has improved to 6-2 after another win, 125-107 in a Week 8 victory, and are all alone in first place in the East Division. Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel led the way to victory. I needed to do a lot of shuffling with my lineup based on the Derrick Henry injury and Calvin Ridley's decision to step away from the game for an unknown amount of time. Cap's team, Destiny Travelways, they were defeated 114-96, and they fall to 1-7 and in last place. Derrick Henry is now out for the year, and Calvin Ridley is left for personal reasons. So, all we'll say, we're just gonna cap what's going on for the fantasy. That our Week 9 starters, just keep an eye on the injury designations for our last-minute adjustments to the lineup for this week. I got screwed last week with Calvin Ridley when he was ruled out just prior to kickoff. I had to take a 0 for that wide receiver spot. So just with fantasy this week, we're just going to see how it rolls. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let me get on to the last page. I did add Adrian Peterson and cut the Cincinnati defense to get him on the squad. But thank you for tuning in today.
Always appreciate it.
Make sure you get the word out. Kat, what do you got?
Not too much. Just glad to be back on the podcast with my guy B Gold. We thank you for listening and tuning in. Check us out on all your available areas to check out the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. It's going down this fantastic voyage. Is that fantastic?
We're going to be on the edge of our seats, well, especially me against the Ravens. So thank you for tuning in. Love you guys.
Go Skull, just go 12s. Emerald up.
Talk soon. Talk soon.
Peace.